Hello humans, Batsy here with another Create video. I apologize for having disappeared for a little bit. I left a small comment saying that the next video would be delayed, but I didn't clarify a whole lot about what happened. A week ago I was upgrading my PC, and my old motherboard decided to implode, so it took me a while to get new components and fix everything up. I'm not very used to working with my phone, so I had a bit of a hard time keeping up with the channel just with my phone. Anyway, thanks to a very generous anonymous person, not only I was able to fix my PC, but also upgrade pretty much the entirety of it. I'm super thankful for it, partially because I wouldn't be able to afford to fix my PC to begin with, but also because the new PC is just so much better. I haven't fully tested how much performance I can squeeze from it, but now I can have Photoshop, with the editing software also open, and Minecraft on top of it, and the PC is still holding just fine. It might sound silly to have everything open at the same time, but often it helps a lot in speeding up the editing. Especially if I want to go back to record, or tweak an animation I'm working on. Anyway, I don't want to spend the entire episode rambling about. I just wanted to thank the anonymous person for their generosity. I really appreciate it. As for today's episode, I wanted to revisit the Cobble generator I have at the factory. As you might notice under me, I'm using 𝐋𝐢𝐬𝐬's Cobble generator. It's a good design and produces a lot of cobble. But the reason I want to change it is that even on a much smaller scale, something about it tends to cause render issues and crash my game. It normally only happens when I'm AFK, and it happens maybe once an hour or every 2. It's not super common, but the crashes are still bothering me. I believe it's something to do with the gantry because the pumps don't seem to crash with drills. Anyway, I have a lot of stress units and plenty of space to work with, so I'm going to the test server to see what can be done to produce as many cobblestones as right now, but maybe using drills instead. If we can achieve better MSPT while we are at it, then that will be fantastic. Right now this is producing around 200 cobblestones a second. It's hard to tell, but from 180 to 300 by the looks of it. So that will be the goal to match with the new generator, but preferably without a gantry this time. So let's hop into the test server and start building some stuff. There are many ways to go about it, but they all work under the same principle. We have lava on one side and water at the other. Water has a little hole to make sure it never touches the lava directly. The premise is simple. When flowing lava touches flowing water, it becomes cobblestone. There is a bit of a delay, but as many times as we break it, it will generate more cobble. Pumps are a bit more interesting. Because we can waterlog a pump, and at the same time feed it with lava. We can have both fluids contained on a smaller scale. But the important thing is how quickly it generates the cobblestone. The moment we break one, it instantly generates a new one. This means the rates of the generator will depend on how quickly we can break the cobble. That's why most people use gantries. The interval between phases is the quickest, at least compared to the alternatives. In my case, I don't want to use entities to break the cobblestone anymore. I'm going to sacrifice the size of it to make it more stable and hopefully not crash anymore. So I'm going to go for drills, many drills. This is what I have in mind so far. It will allow the cobble to fall into the ground, which sadly means only 2 rows of pumps at a time. This is going to cause the size to be a lot bigger, but since I have room to work with, I think it will be fine. To make up for it, I'm going to make each row a whole lot longer than before. That seems to be a decent size. Now I'm probably going to build a couple more rows. Okay, I think something like this should work out. It's a whole lot bigger than a gantry, but we have endless stress units to work with, and plenty of room anyway. I'm going to work with this design, and bring you all back when I have something working. Alright, it took me a little bit more than I thought it would, but I made a schematic that I'm happy with. In the end, I expanded it to 4 rows for the sake of making it symmetrical, but the length of each row is the same as before. I tested it a lot and it's producing well over 200 cobble a second, which was the goal I had to match the previous one. I think the size of it's not too bad either, at least compared to the size of the factory, it's not that noticeable. But let me explain a few of the details, and why I did it like that. First, there is a gap between the cobble and the funnels. I did that to prevent the cobble from leaking, or at least to minimize it. After running it for a while, a lot of cobblestone would end up between the funnels, so moving it one down fixed the issue for the most part. Then I placed some glass around it for the same reason. It won't prevent all leakage, but it will reduce it considerably. Then there are the rows of vaults. I did this instead of belts because I was having the issue of filling up the belts with stacks of single blocks of cobble. Even the belts at max speed weren't able to keep up, so we used the belts to fuse all the cobble into stacks of 64, which is for the same reason, to avoid cobble spilling everywhere and leaking between the belts. All of that gets moved into those two little vaults, which at first might look silly, but there is a solid reason for it. While I was testing it, I found out a single funnel wasn't able to output the cobble fast enough, and I still wanted to have a little bit of buffer, so I placed a small vault for each side. Now with two funnels to output everything, it would probably be fine without any vaults, to begin with, and just work with belts. But I preferred to do it this way instead. I have also added two speed controllers at the very back of it. The one for the pumps at 1 speed, and the other at max speed of course. Overall I'm happy with the design. It's quite big, and it's going to consume a lot of stress units, but for a factory that big, it's not going to be a problem at all, and it will bring more stability. What I'm going to do now is export this to the SMP, and leave this schematic in the description below, in case any humans want to use it too. And because I often see the humans having many problems with the schematic cannon, I'm also going to show the common issues and how to fix them, so stay tuned for that too. The first thing I had to be fixing are the vaults. Those nearly always get placed wrongly, so you have to remove a few of the ones that look glitchy and place them back in until the connected textures look alright. It might get tedious if the schematic has a lot of vaults, but there is no other way around it. When I went to fill up the pumps with water, I saw that one of the pipes was wrongly connected, so I simply replaced that one too, and now it should work fine. Then I proceeded to waterlog all of the pumps, which took quite some time. After that, I filled up the middle parts with lava, making sure both of them are lava sources. And to wrap things up, I fixed the chain drives. You can notice this one isn't connected. Now yes, the textures are connected. Same for the middle ones, I noticed some drills weren't spinning. For some reason, the two drives below the glass bugged out, so I had to fix that on all rows. And that's the last problem that happened to me. Of course, cannons are wild, so maybe you get the same issues, or none at all, but hopefully that shows a few of the things to look into when using a schematic. I'm praying for the day they fix the cannon, but until then, always double check the placements. But this is going to be it for this episode. I'm going to be more active again, and I will finally be starting to build some stuff in the manufacturing area. It will likely release this Friday, and it's going to include a lot of automation, so stay tuned for that. As always, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a comment if you liked the new graphics and animations I have been doing lately. I personally had a blast editing those. Take care everyone, and I will see you all next time.